small businesses or little family businesses that grow organically can often blossom into really, really valuable enterprises. But if they've grown without a real vision or a real organizational structure in place, a lot of times they reach a point where they're really vulnerable to transitions of key players, or maybe there's no real plan for business continuity, and there's not enough structure to make the company scalable. So they reach a point where it's time to bring in a lot of this organizational structure. If you're the person who has been tasked with that, you probably know intuitively that this is going to be a difficult challenge. You're going to take a lot of arrows, because one of the problems is everybody in that company has their own idea of what that company means and where it's going and what their relationship is with that company. And your job is to come in and put forth a clear vision and to make sure that everything serves that vision in the most logical and reasonable and efficient way. So my suggestion on how to approach this is to use what I call zero-based engineering, which is really what that means is you take a very clinical assessment, a very objective strategic analysis of every aspect of the business, and you kind of start from scratch with a vision in mind. You clearly define the vision, and then you build everything in alignment with how you're going to achieve that vision. Now, that's not going to set well with the people who are chaos creators in that company. So, you know, it's going to be a tumultuous ride, but eventually this is what's necessary to build value in that enterprise and make it successful. One of the first steps when you're undertaking this is kind of like Superman. You need a fortress of solitude, both mentally and physically. It needs to be a place where you can get busy strategically creating this parallel universe because there's a lot of game theory involved. You want to make sure that you do as little harm as possible to the value of this business while you take it to the next step. We're going to talk about what that fortress of solitude does and what you're going to be doing in it right when we get back.
Welcome to the Communication Culture, where we help entrepreneurs and small businesses build transparency and accountability through effective communications. If you like this content, let's talk. Email Loy at loyedge.com or call 877-LOY-EDGE. Now, here we go.
Okay, so we're using a strategy that I call zero-based engineering to create a parallel universe for this company. We've stepped back. We're doing an objective assessment. We're thinking, well, what does this company look like using Porter's 5 forces? What's a SWOT analysis of this company? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You know, what is the unique, sustainable value proposition? What are the competitive advantages? You're really taking in everything, and while you're researching this, you're assessing, you know, what are the functions that need to happen, and what levels of management do those fall into, what categories. So maybe you're one of those things on the wall person. That's what I am. I love to use the giant post-it note type things and put them on the wall, just all around the room in my fortress of solitude while I'm creating this alternative universe. You need to look at all of the aspects of the business, and I call that the spaghetti on the wall phase, because you're just flinging everything out there. And then as you start pulling it back in, what you're doing is you're defining all the functions of this business. Where are all the, what is every single function that has to happen to get this business where it needs to be. And what you're doing there is you're kind of erasing what exists, where, oh, Sally doesn't like to do this, or Bill's always done that, or we've always done it this way. All of these kind of this development that adds to the dysfunction of the company because it's not organized. So what you're doing is you're bringing in, or you're not bringing it in, but you're identifying what should the structure look like ideally. And while you're doing this, you're formulating the vision for the company. And what that means is you have taken, you're playing God just for a moment here. You want to identify, what does it look like? What's this company look like? Take a random hub that makes sense, say 5 years from now, or say when we've maximized the current facility, and it's time to make another move. What will the company look like? How many people will it take to do all these functions? What will the size of the company be? How will it evolve? All these things can be revised down the road, but the important thing is to get as detailed as possible. Build that vision. Make it as real as you can. And after you do that, you're going to be able to make a real critical assessment of where you need to go with a lot of the decisions that are going to be very difficult. That's going to free up a lot of your RAM because you've actually put that vision forth. You're going to be able to know, does this fit? Does this not fit? It's going to help you break things down to those 10,000 tiny decisions you need to make. On, off, red, black, yes, no. It's all about making as many of those decisions properly as you can. People will be coming at you with all kinds of noise, all kinds of gaslighting. You won't be able to trust anybody because everybody's trying to protect their own turf. But you need to cut through all that, and you need to make sure that you stay focused objectively on what that vision is that you've created. And then you need to start sharing that vision so that people understand the why behind the changes that you're planning to bring on board. Now remember, it's going to be difficult. There's going to be a lot of pushback. We're going to talk about all of the other zero-based strategy steps when you're coming in to bring order and bring structure to a company in order to maximize its potential. We're going to be doing that on future communication culture videos. But first of all, make sure you know it's all about beginning with the end in mind. You've got to, your first objective is to set that clear vision for the future at some point. And in order to do that, you need to have a space where you can be strategic, where you can get lost in your thoughts and you can organize everything, because you're building a parallel universe. Before you come in and start literally making the changes, it all has to exist right here. Thanks for joining me on the Communication Culture. Please like this and subscribe because I want to see you on the future episodes.